Hey guys, so in this video we will talk about Hissabeth and whether should you pull for her or not. But just for context, I will be pulling for her because I really like characters that have many synergy with other characters. Even though it is not meta, like it is not the best, but there is some form of synergy with other characters which makes her a very versatile character, and that to me has the most value because I can play with so many different things just by pulling for her. Alright, so just to make that clear. And for the start, to understand Hissabeth's kit, we have to understand her insight. So her insight, upon entering battle, you get 8 sneak stand. At the start of each round, she will convert 1 sneak stand into 1 level of Hiss. 1 copy level 1 Hiss. And you only can do that once per turn. Alright? And when you have Hiss, you use Hiss and attack the enemy, they will get Serpentine skill. And Hiss incantation will also inflict 1 rigidity. So if you do it twice, like you have 2 copies of Hiss, then you use it twice, the enemy will be petrified. And you will also gain 1 Moxie by attacking an enemy that has Serpentine skill. But this can only trigger once per round as well. One interesting thing about Hiss and also Hissabeth ultimate, they are not counted in your hand draw, okay, or your spell dogs, right? So usually, like if you are using first melody, it is 8 slot, then you refresh it using the tuning. Or if you are using unfinished tune, then it's 9 slot where you can delete the last slot and you can precast 2. So one problem with this is that if you get an ultimate, it will fill up the spell dog. So if you refresh your spell, you get 7 out of 8 copies. Something is bound to go missing. So for Hissabeth, her ultimate and his incantation, they will not be counted as a part of your spell dog. So that is actually very good. So it doesn't hinder you from getting something that you want. So to make it simple, she starts with Snake Zen. She converts Snake Zen into Hiss. Hiss attack the enemy. Enemy gets Serpentine skill. At the end of the round, if you read Serpentine skill, at the end of the round, the carrier will take 50 plus 20% times number of stacks. And maximum stacks here is actually 8 stacks, so it's like 210% Genesis damage. So this Serpentine skill, this damage, it can crit, and it benefits from Ultimate Might. And after you trigger the effect, you will consume all the Serpentine skills, okay, and then you will grant Hissabeth Sneak Dance. So it turns back into Sneak Dance. If the carriers die, then Serpentine skill is transferred to the enemy with the highest attack. So you can see this form a cycle. And for Hiss, there's 3 rank because every time you start, she will convert 1 Snake's Den into Hiss, and that is rank 1. If somehow, okay, there's a few ways I'm going to explain it to you, that you get Hiss using the other method. So let's say now you have 2 rank 1. They will automatically merge. And only then you have 1 copy of rank 2 incantation. However, if you are against some battle and you want more copy, so actually the Hiss auto merging can sometimes be not be favorable. But to me overall, it is still extra 2 rank 3 incantation, so that is really good. Yeah, but there is characters like Mercuria that you want to do more incantation, or like Flutterpage, you want to increase gust attack, so you want even more attack, and then when it merges you only get 1 instead of multiple, right? But somehow if you are already at the point all her Hiss were merged and you get 2 rank 3, there's really nothing much you can do about it, okay? In fact, that should be the intended way to play Hissabeth. So the question here is, how fast and how frequent can we convert Sneak Dance into Hiss? Because from the inside, it is only once a turn, and that's actually pretty slow. However, here I have her skill 2, which is a buff. Consume 2 stack of sneak stance, and at the end of the round generate 2 rank 1 hits. So these 2 rank 1 hits will auto combine, okay? And if there is not enough sneak dance, then you will gain 1 moxie instead. So this is definitely the incantation that you want to use frequently in order to get the number of stacks of his up to rank 3. And for the ultimate, it's a mass attack, 500% mental damage, and it increases the damage taken dealt by Serpentine skill from 20% to 70%. So with this and crit, Hissabeth can do like maybe 40 plus thousand Genesis damage, which is pretty huge. Alright, at the end of the round, recover all Serpentine skill and gain 1 equivalent number of rank of his. So this is where things become interesting. So let's say now you have a bunch of his and you attack the enemy with it, all of them, then this will bring up the Serpentine skill stack on the enemy to a higher number. Let's make things easier, let's just say 8. Right, so you are able to transfer all the snake sand into his, and then you attack the enemy with his. Now he has 8 stack of Serpentine skill. But if we use ultimate, all the Serpentine skill will return to us as his. Okay, if you don't do that, then you got to still wait every round and then use S2 in order to get many hits. Okay, best would be all 8, and that will combine into 2 rank 3 hits. And lastly, we have S1. So S1 is mass attack, and if the enemy has Serpentine skill, then this attack will do more damage. If you are keeping the rotation right, by the end of the, just after the first few turns, you will not have to use this again. So for her rotation, what you want to do is to set up, to the point that you can use the ultimate while the enemy has 8 Serpentine skill. So what you're going to do here is you use his rank 1 at the start, then you use S1 and S2. And now S1 will be attacking will be attacking an enemy with Serpentine skill. So here you are looking at 1 Moxie, 2 Moxie, 3, and probably around 3 Moxie. Yeah, you get 3 Moxie. So in round 2, you gotta use S1 and S2 again. Don't use the hiss, right? Save it. S1 and S2. Then in round 3, now that her ultimate is ready, and you should have several copy, maybe 2 or 3 copy of his. So by round 3, you get to her ultimate. Now, after you out, it's important that you do it after you out, because if you do it before, then all the additional Moxie, she will not gain it unless you have a character that had Moxie overflow. So you use the out, you use all the his, then you use S2 and S1. Okay, so this will allow you to get back 5 Moxies. So now in round 4, you have 5 Moxies, and also in this round, you have all the rank 3 incantation, 2 copy of it. So what I would suggest you to do is use ultimate, then use his rank 3 times 2. Okay, and when you do his rank 3 times 2, because each of his rank 3 is 2 Moxie, right? So there's 4 Moxie. Then now you inflict the Serpentine skill, then you attack the enemy with Serpentine skill. That will give you the 5th Moxie. So basically after that, it's just doing the same thing. Out, his rank 3 times 2, out, his rank 3 times 2. So in the end, she doesn't really need to consume her S1 or S2 anymore. Okay, all you just need is to give her 1 AP to use her ultimate, because her his incantation is, I don't think it consume any AP. Yes, for sure, she doesn't consume AP, and it also doesn't consume the spell dog. So that would be the advantage for Hissabeth. And overall, with his rank 3 times 2 and the Serpentine skill on the enemy, actually is quite consistent that, including all the attack that she can do somewhere like 100,000 damage per round, which is not too bad. Now, in terms of side cube, here I have two side cube. One is her own, one is Brave New World. So her own, if you just want to not set up for anything specific, her own is actually really good because it provides up to 24% ultimate might and 36% crit damage. That's actually very high. But the base stat is just attack 10%. However, Brave New World, your base stat is ultimate might, 18%. And at level 5 for the Brave New World side cube, after the carrier casts an ultimate, incantation might of the next incantation increased by 40%. So his incantation is not an incantation, it's actually an ultimate. So you can actually just focus on getting rank 3 hits. Then you just kept using the rank 3 hits again and again and again. Once you had enough, then you use S1, which is the only attack incantation that she have apart from his. Then yeah, that would do a lot of damage because of the massive incantation might that Brave New World provides. Okay, so in that case, the rotation slightly changed, but in a way that, after round 5, you just repeat and repeat and repeat once you get all the stacks really high for Brave New World. And at this round you can one hit KO the enemy, do it. Okay, that would be the gameplay for Hissabeth. So in terms of her teammates, she actually have many teammates. So it's quite hard for me to talk about every single one of them. So here I just have a list. Villa is good for Hissabeth because the extra mental damage will work on rank 3 incantations. Argus, now you are doing 2 rank 3 incantation every round. Argus will be able to generate her own rank 3 incantation at the end of the round. Then here we have Flutter Page because each of these hits can also increase gas stack. Mercuria, like you are casting 2 rank 3 incantation every round, and that is really good for Mercuria's cosmic energy, and Moxie as well. Then Shamaine, because his is an ultimate and that will increase the rippling energy, I think, stacks. Okay, but however, there is one more character, but it's in the future. In 3.0, there's a new character, Juvis III, and it works very well with Hissabeth. So example of a team will be like Hissabeth, Villa, Mercuria, Argus. So this is more of the damage-oriented team. Okay, there is a lot of other team that you can slot Hissabeth in. And lastly, should you pull or not? First of all, Hissabeth is a very good utility sub DPS. Utility in the sense of rigidity and doing Genesis damage. Yeah, but apart from that, her damage output is probably not as high as the current meta that we have. Okay, so should you pull in that sense? If you lack of a plant or a Genesis DPS, like you got no poison, then you should get her because she's plant and she has Genesis, so her damage is actually not that bad. Okay, and skip, right? The game now focus more on the team setup, and Hissabeth is kind of like versatile, but she doesn't provide damage boost, but she does do quite substantial damage to hold her own weight. And if you have some spare resource, it's totally understandable that you want to get her, because I personally will be getting her. Yeah, so but if you are like saving up for this, saving up for that, and then we have the Assassin's Creed patch coming, and in the Chinese version, the Assassin's Creed patch is after 3.0. So, which means the Assassin's Creed character has to be at least as strong in terms of the party's damage output compared to the current meta that we have in the Chinese version, which is Nautica and Dynamo and Impromptu. In the GL version, after Keep Arena, the strongest that we have is probably Impromptu. We have no access to Dynamo or Nautica yet. but the Assassin's Creed has to be that level of damage. Or else just imagine this like you pull for the Assassin's Creed character this patch, and then next patch is Nautica, right, for us in GL. And then suddenly Assassin's Creed become obsolete. Now, I don't think that will happen. So the Assassin's Creed team will probably be one of the meta, or they will fit into one of the existing team. But anyway, we can expect them to be powerful. Alright, so that's all for this video for Hissabeth. Thank you for watching and have a good day.